I mean, look at me. Do I look like a cowboy person? Pew pew, shoot my guns. Howdy. Howdy, partner. Chat, tell me I'm cool. I'm bald. My dad's a scientist. He kills people. I'll pack a chainsaw. I'll skin your ass raw. And if my day keeps going this way, I just might break your fucking face tonight. I don't think this is good, is it? For the sake of this drawing, I need to know your credit card numbers and the that little 3-digit code. And the expiration date too. Just for the purposes of this drawing though. It's important. You hear how sticky it is? I'm so excited for race. Say you love me or I'll kill you. It got a little weird. I need to speak with your manager. These are not the droids you're looking for. I gotta give them a little razzle dazzle. That's what I give. Let me prepare myself mentally and emotionally and physically. Oh, Dark Souls time, how I hate this game. Oh, you came out of nowhere, I didn't expect to see you here, sir. Oh, Dark Souls time, it's the time of year we hate. I'm rolling around on the ground sometimes because that's the only thing I know how to do. It's a terrible time. This man has got some shields. He's got another friend, and everything is great. My girl wants to bury bodies all the time, bury all the bodies all the time. It doesn't fit quite as well. Bananas and pajamas, they slowly poison you. Now don't go wasting my precious time. Uh-oh. Do you ever just feel like sometimes you just need like a really good think and you just feel like climbing down in like an old abandoned well somewhere where like no one knows you're there and just sitting in like the darkness for like day and night with not really much food and like a very small supply of water just so you can like, you know, really think about things.
In an old abandoned well.
Yeah, you know. It was sincere. It was. I am gonna legitimately miss Clarence after I stab him and let all the air empty out of him and commend his soul into whatever balloon hell exists. Well, we came close. We tried, Banhammer. But it's okay. Yeah. I decided to take off the other sweater, so now I just blend into my chair more, but it's okay. We'll pretend. I was too, so no worries, Banhammer, I'm kidding. I was just like, oh, I hope you weren't like hoping for any of us to carry. I am like, yeah, I am one with the chair now. I'm just a sweater vest and a tie, and that's it, and a head. Especially with this light too, it's even, or like this camera, it's even more just like, how pale is your Soka? But yeah, I might put the sweater back on in a bit, but I was getting a little toasty. Plus being reminded that this is like the last time I can sort of channel Makima, I was like, maybe we should like full Makima vibes. They would claim you're just a peer. That's true, you're in the Pale Kids Club too. I'm gonna say number 2 actually.
Insects do have brains,
yeah.
But yes, I understand what you're saying. I think the protesters took it a little too far.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, I think that's a little extreme. You've been hooked on 2 board games recently, Sky Team and Castle Combo. Ooh, what makes them, if it's too hard to explain, don't worry. Like if you're doing other stuff you don't want to explain, but what makes them appealing to you? That you've been hooked lately.
As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her. Legs up. They're not moving.
Anything else?
Okay. What's with the rotor blades and skis?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money.
She rests her chin on her hands with an impish smile. You're gonna find the cat, give him his meds, and then try and find rest in your cursed doom. Yeah, don't unseal unless you want to bring on the wrath of King Banhammer. But have a good night, Banhammer. Thank you for stopping in again. I hope you're able to get some sleep, despite allergies and anything else that might in the bed conundrum. But thanks for stopping in.
Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
Interesting. What do these transmissions say?
The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Her smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind you.
Men like that are a curse.
The lieutenant is stern. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I hate these people. Like, the, like, tech bros or, like, startup founders who basically are just running money scams and just convince people. They're basically charlatans where they just take advantage of uneducated people and take their money and then run off. Sky Team is a 2-player cooperative board game. Okay, you and one other play pilot and co-pilot of an airplane. You need to land at different airports, but the game throws problems during the flight. Oh, that's kind of fun. I mean, kind of scary, but also that I like games where they're cooperative. I have trouble with games where it's like you're playing against other people, because then I just feel kind of bad, especially with people you just met. I prefer cooperative games to competitive. Maybe because a lot of my youth was playing like competitive games and I'm just kind of like tired of that. I just like having cooperative games now.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47.
Good.
I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
Fair.
They were just props. Why return them?
I guess I have more questions about the intercom?
I'm pretty sure it still doesn't work, but sure. What do you want to know?
I guess I asked all of them, so I have a few questions about the building.
I'm listening.
And actually I have other
Good.
questions.
I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
I would say I don't think I'm ready to order a die. I think it costs like an insane amount of money, which I don't have. Okay, so she also couldn't tell us anything about, thank you for the autosave, about the tattoos though, which is kind of annoying. I was hoping somebody would tell us about tattoos. What's over here? Oh, it's the game room, that's right. Whoa, where are we going?
This old fireplace is cut. The
Didn't
whole
mean
thing
to click
is
on that. Castle Combo is a 2 to 5 player game where you draft cards from people in the castle and village. You take 9 turns getting a new character, putting them in a 3x3 grid in front of you, and then the combos happen based on who is next to who. Okay, that sounds creative. Legends, how many board games do you think you own? It's gotta be a lot, right? How do you have storage for all of them? I remember when I was a child, we had like the game closet. I'm sure that other people had this too. Like the game and puzzle. Ours was more of a puzzle closet because our family was very big into puzzles. They still are. But okay, so this was kind of fruitless. Like no one helped me in here. I also just noticed in that cut screen there's like a person dangling. But yeah, I'm like, I don't know where I definitely don't have room for such things here in Tokyo, but what are you doing?
Looking for something to read.
She reverts her attention to a worn out paperback. Good. Nod.
It is.
I'm a policeman.
I know you are.
Do you need the help of a policeman?
What with?
She tries hard to focus on the bookstand. Watch her browse books.
Her hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work, smoking.
Why would I want to say your husband is missing? That's all for the moment.
The
I'll let you
woman
read.
before you nods.
I'm gonna save first because I don't want to do something stupid. You have triple digits in board games? My god. The book says you must return to Frank Hardbody at the nearest gym. Maybe your husband's
My
missing?
husband? No, he's not.
So where could he be?
I don't know. At home now? Out drinking with his friends? Working?
Triple digits is like... That's like storage container time, isn't it? Like for that many games. My friend back in the US just texted me. Every year she makes for the holidays like cookies to give out to people, and a couple years back she started, I don't need to have my flashlight on me anymore, but she started making like variety packs of cookies. So she would make several different batches, take a little of each batch, put them in like a tin, hand those out. It's kind of become like an obsession of hers now. Like she makes so many different cookie varieties now. But what she does to make it like more manageable is she uses recipes where she can like freeze the cookies, and then so she can just thaw them when she needs them and like distribute. But it got to the point where this year she's like, I had to buy a chest freezer because I'm up to like, I think she said like 22 cookie varieties now. And I was like, that's too many cookies. But I'm sure like it's probably great because you get to put like 3 of each type of cookie per tin, and it looks really fabulous. And she's a great cook, so but I'm just like, that's when you start to be like, I might have a problem.
Where is this going, officer?
So what I'm hearing is you don't really know where your husband is.
Yes, but I don't really need to know where my husband is. Not all the time.
Wouldn't you like to?
No.
She looks you straight into the eye. Her right foot is tapping nervously. I don't know why I'm like pursuing this line of thought, but I just am like, maybe something will result from it. I can totally help you find your missing husband.
Why are we still talking about this? I haven't lost my husband.
Maybe your children are missing.
No, absolutely not.
Her words come out quick as gunshots. Okay, so where are they?
Are you a policeman or a nanny?
She's definitely disturbed now. I please whatever I want. Where are they?
They're not missing, sir.
You know where they are. They're at home, smoking, giving the ladder of vices a chance.
Today one of your clients gave your team 2 pizzas, and right after that another client gave you a basket that had cookies in it. Oh, delight. This is the time of year when I remember like all the reps would come by and give like cookies or popcorn or chocolates. This was like a very generous time of year for getting gift baskets and things. It's weird. Japan, it does not feel like it's December right now. It does not feel like Christmas is very close. It didn't feel that way last year either, because Japan doesn't really celebrate Christmas. Like, no surprise there, perhaps. But this year it's been so warm. Like, it's not warm, but I mean, it's like 40 degrees, like Fahrenheit. Was that like 14, 15 Celsius? So it hasn't been like the winter that I know, like from the US, where it's like, you know, usually like freezing or below, and it's like very, very chilly. And even here, it's like the leaves are just now starting to change color. I went out this weekend and took a bunch of pictures of like leaves that had finally turned like golden and red. So it doesn't feel like it's December. It just doesn't quite feel right. But it's also just because here you don't have all those kind of like societal clues that you get back in the US, where it's like, yeah, like people at work giving gifts or like places being decorated. There's decorations, but it's not to the same extent. And it's just a change in like the general vibe. In the US, it's like everyone gets into that kind of like holiday mood for these like couple weeks here. And then it very quickly springboards into the depression that sets in after the holidays, if you didn't already have it. But here it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's just everyone's keep doing their own thing, whatever. I sometimes miss it a little bit, but it's not like I ever did anything to really celebrate much in my adult life anyhow, so I don't know. But I do wish it kind of felt more like winter. It just feels weird. My seasons are all messed up right now. Yeah, they're smoking cigarettes. I don't know why I'm pushing this. I just want to see what happens.
What? That's just... My daughters are perfectly fine. They're with their friends down in Shamrock. There's nothing to worry about.
I'm just hoping that this kind of like shakes something loose.
They're almost grown up now anyway. They're past the age they need me protecting them from everything now.
I'm afraid the danger is now greater than ever. Tell me, how old are they?
My youngest girl, Jolie, is just shy of 16. Jenny, she is turning 18 next month. But we shouldn't even be talking about them.
I'm still on this line of thought that they're missing. And can you describe them? Can you describe me their appearance? Any features that stand out? Something to make identifying a little easier?
Why do you need to know this? Haven't I repeatedly told you that they're not missing? That they're in Jamrock, safe and well, at some stupid party.
Did someone say party? You could use a party. Hunt it down.
I could do with a party. It's for the investigation. I'm trying to be professional. Yeah, it's for the investigation. I'm trying to be professional. I'm just trying to say stuff that's like, I don't know, weird.
There is no investigation here. I can tell you that.
She picks up a book and tries to concentrate. A flock of seabirds passes by. Maybe your cockatoo is missing.
I don't mean to disrespect, sir, but you are being a bit of a cockatoo here.
Yeah, that's fair.
For what it's worth, I agree. But cockatoos can't be stopped when they get ladies. It's better to indulge him at this point.
I love you, Kim. Ma'am, I was asking about your cockatoo. Is it missing?
I don't even have a cockatoo. And guess what?
What?
It's a trap. Never ever say what.
Yeah, 100%. All right, cockatoo not missing. I just wanted to make sure.
Great.
She turns her attention back to the book stand. Just one more question. What did you mean by me being a cockatoo?
Nothing. Go read up on them if you're so interested. There's a great book in the bookstore.
Sorry, Kim. I keep pointing my flashlight right in your life. Your
Maybe you should.
eyes.
What if the cockatoo is your astral captain? Or your heraldic bird?
Oh, thank you for the follow. I heard that. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Thanks for the tip. You're being sarcastic with sarcastic. Would my inland empire be sarcastic? Thanks for the tip.
Wonderful. The store is open.
Alright, that's all for the moment.
The woman before you nods and returns to her reading.
I think mostly it's like these give me, if nothing else, it'll give me, what am I trying to say? Just experience points to like complete some of these things. And I've got time to kill anyway, I think, so might as well. Do quick save too. I don't know if it auto-saved or not. I wasn't paying attention. Are they here-ish? Or are they upstairs?
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes.
It's the board
There are
games.
numerous-
Yeah, I forgot. That's Legend's favorite spot at this bookstore. Maybe they're up here. I don't think I've... Oh, what's this? This one's particular.
These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name Dick Mullen over and over. A couple of spook novels hide amidst all the detective books. Thrilling tales of spycraft and daring do.
So speaking of crime fiction, this is a quick aside. I just wanted to correct myself because I mentioned a few streams ago I was reading a new mystery book. It was a part of a series. Peter Wimsley. Peter Wimsley is the detective. The book I was reading was called Gaudy Night. It was good. I finished it. I really enjoyed it. I mistakenly said it was from like 2012 because I was like, I'm so shocked it's from so recent because it reads like a classic, like Agatha Christie era, like extremely detailed. Like I was like, man, this author must have really done like her homework to like capture this essence of like this era of England. No, I like looked up later. That book was like a reissue in 2012. It is from like 1920 or whatever. It is absolutely an old book. But it's great. And I'm reading a second part of the series now. So if anyone's interested in that kind of like, if you like Agatha Christie, Holmes, those kind of things, especially Agatha Christie vibes, I get that. Worth checking out the Peter Wimsley series. You did hear board games, but I had already looked at that table, so we're looking at the crime books now. Look through the display of books.
Crime fiction is a disgrace.
What?
An asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes of the arduous everyday work of actual police officers.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends.
I will say I do think the first book I read for hers, Dorothy Sayers, the Gaudy Night one, I didn't really figure out the mystery until like pretty close to like when it's revealed. But it's not so much about like the mystery, it's more like the character building. But this one, I'm pretty sure I figured out the murderer like very early. It's now starting to like solidify, but I was like suspicious of a certain character, and now I'm kind of seeing that I'm pretty sure it was this character. So maybe they're a little hit and miss in terms of like how difficult it is to solve them, but if that's your thing. But I'm okay to overlook that if like the writing's good, and I think the writing is pretty decent. So but yeah, this is definitely true.
What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives.
I would say not all of them. There's like a very good British show that covers it well. There's a couple, I'm sure, but I forget its name. It's like Remus or something. I only saw a couple seasons because it was actually really depressing. But this was, I mean, sometimes they do touch on that.
Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of all the books found on the shelf?
Sure thing.
You see Dick Mullen on the job. Get Me Mullen. The Stalwart Adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen and the Murder in the Orchard. The Sordid Affair of Dick Mullen. A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the Murder House. The Final Case of Dick Mullen. An Obvious Lie. Dick Mullen in the Clock Tower. The Ordeals of Dick Mullen. Dauntless Dick. Dick Mullen's Funeral Pyre. The Murder of Dick Mullen.
It is like a lot of like ones that are hinting that, oh, he dies, and it's like clearly he doesn't. Dick Mullen dies?
Oh no. Turns out he faked it to solve a case.
And they always do. Are there any more?
Yes. There's also The Dame Who Didn't. Farewell, My Mullen.
Yeah.
Faking death seems to be a common trope in the Mullen series. The morbid tales of Dick Mullen. A dark tide turns.
But honestly, who among us hasn't faked our own deaths in order to solve some sort of crime or mystery? I mean, I believe it like a handful of times myself.
Tragedy calls for Dick Mullen. Another one with fake death. And, of course, Dick Mullen, the murderer. In order to catch a murderer, Dick Mullen must become the murderer. Wow. After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen?
You know what? Demi's not even here. I'm gonna try it. Probably not gonna win, but
Your attempt to grasp at the answer fails.
Damn.
It seems very close by, pulsating just out of reach.
Damn. All right, leave that. All right, let's see if this individual book is anything important.
A
Cockatiels?
sulfur-crested
Hell yeah.
cockatoo sits on the cover, its beak slightly open. It looks as if the bird is calling out the book title, From A to Zurich, a guide to a well-behaved cockatoo.
You can train cockatiels? Cockatoo. Is cockatoo and cockatiel a different bird? I'm not well versed enough to know. Flip through the pages.
Turns out that there are so many different cockatoo species, and they all have behavioral problems.
Well, they probably shouldn't be pets.
You don't have behavioral problems. That's garbage.
Oh, is
You're cool.
that why? Is that why we were called cockatoo? What about this guide to cockatoo, storekeeper?
It's a must-have if you own a cockatoo. I've heard they're quite capricious.
I could try to steal the guide. I don't know about that. I don't want to buy it though. It's too much money. Hey, no pogo. How's it going? Should we steal a book about cockatoos? I'll leave it for now. Let's explore the other bookshelves first. She's giving us an angry stare donut
The
at the
plaque
moment.
on the shelf reads, Biographies of Famous People.
Oh,
You
dear.
see a large variety of names, none of which ring a bell.
Look through the display of books.
Browsing through all the books with all their names makes your head spin. None of these seem important or relevant. It's all just vapid egoism.
Rocking the simp tee? Hell yeah. Yeah. I keep using my Simp for Circa mug during important meetings and I just don't even care anymore. I'm just hoping that people don't really like get what it is. But I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what? If they are like, what is that mug? I'm gonna be like, oh, it's just like, it's like fan merchandise for something. Cause like people have a lot of like support for other like J-pop idols and like anime and stuff here. So I feel like I could definitely just be like, oh, it's just like some fan, it's a fan mug. I don't have to go into full detail. You had to explain the concept of simp tier. Why? I mean, I don't know. That'd be tricky, I think. I don't know the exact words I would use. Oh, there's the chimes for 5 p.m. But I think simp is a very interesting word. I don't know if it's been the word of the year yet, but it should be at some point. This year's word of the year was brain rot. I'm kind of disappointed in that, honestly, but it said that it is very frequently used on TikTok, and I'm not on TikTok, so maybe I don't like. But I was like, I feel like I haven't seen that word that much, and like I feel like it's pretty like self-explanatory what that word is. But you could explain what stan was. It. See, maybe she doesn't like. She's not as familiar with brain. I know brain rot just because it's like an old term, and like, yeah, they used to say if you sat and watched TV too much, your brain would rot, or like, oh, don't look at that brain rot. But I guess apparently on TikTok it's been a popular word. Vapid egoism.
Suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. It reads, High Speed Love, the tragic true love story of Jacob Irv and Alfie Delatraz, by one Cecilia Averbrook.
What's it about?
High Speed Love chronicles the romance between two of the finest tip-top tourney racers in history. One of them is the madcap driver, Jacob Irv. His blonde mane graces the cover.
Tip-top tourney.
Next to Irv's life story, you see a slim biography of an Occidental rock star called the Anti-Star. He's famous for shooting morphine into one of his eyeballs and cocaine into the other.
Jesus. I don't recommend this. I don't recommend this as an eye doctor and just as a human. I don't recommend. I would like to think I'm not as terminally online as most people. I do feel like I find myself like learning a lot of terms from Crooked and Circa, among other streamers, but those two especially tend to use terminology where I'm like, what are we talking about? Where I have to like look it up. Really showing my age.
Next to that, Revacholian radio personality Guillaume Bevy stands in front of a rundown drug den. He's a permanent fixture on Channel 8, reporting on real-life crime and ruining cops' days.
Great. I will say, though, in my defense, I'm old, but I also just, like, am not in touch with, like, a lot of... I don't do social media, really. I do Instagram. That's the only thing I do. And I'm not even really good at that. I don't really hang out on that very often. So most of it's because I just avoid online